This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
You know who I can do without? I can do without the people in the video store.
Which ones?
All of them.
This is Massive Late Fee with Mike and Mark.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my co-host Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Good. We've had a good week here at Massive Late Fee. Keep on growing, all that other stuff. We've had some people actually interacted with us on Twitter, which is cool. We don't get a ton of interaction on Twitter. We get more on Facebook and through email. But I guess all of you are shy. You don't want to put your stuff out there on Twitter.
Yeah, I noticed too that you're still using my really old Twitter name.
Oh, am I?
Tag me and stuff.
Oh, well, that's no good.
No.
Look for Mike's new Twitter handle. Massive
I don't know
Late
what it
Fee
is.
Mike, I think.
Massive Late Mike, maybe? I don't know.
Massive Late Mike.
I can't be too upset if I don't know my own Twitter name.
Well, today in the news. So, Mike, this week was San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Guess how much we're going to talk about that?
Hopefully not a lot.
None, basically, because I really don't care. Marvel debuted a bunch of crap. If you are interested in San Diego Comic-Con and like a bunch of Comic-Con stuff, I would check out The Weekly Planet. The Weekly Planet does a very good podcast that focuses specifically on comic book movies. They're not part of the network, although James and Mason, if you guys want to move your incredibly successful network over here, I will absolutely welcome you with open arms. But they do a very good job with comic book things. So if you're interested in that, you can go there. I really don't care. Marvel's debuting like 10 properties. One of them is female Thor. Natalie Portman's going to be female Thor. And then Blade with Mahershala Ali, the two-time Oscar winner, is going to be Blade.
I don't know what he won Oscars for. I know he's in True Detective Season 3, which I have not seen. But I gotta check it out. I mean, I saw most of the first season of True Detective. I saw very little of 2, but I heard the third season was decent.
Yeah, I heard the third season was good too. It went in odds. The first season was supposed to be good, second season not good, third season was supposed to be good. He won for Moonlight and Green Book.
Okay, actually, that's what I thought. I thought he was in Green Book. I wasn't sure what else he was in, but yeah, Moonlight, that makes sense.
He's a really good actor, and apparently he just called up Kevin Feige, head of the Marvel movies, and said, I want to be Blade.
Well, that's good, because you need a really good actor to play Blade.
Right, exactly. But Kevin Feige's like, when he calls, you're just like, okay, sure. But I guess that'll be the extent of. I hadn't planned on talking about any of it, but I guess that'll be the extent of San Diego Comic-Con. I don't follow it. I don't watch it or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Conan O'Brien show. He does like a special at Comic-Con, so I was watching that. So there's a couple things on there that I saw, but I don't really know much of it.
Yeah, I watch the movies because I'm a sadist, I guess, but I don't really watch the TV shows, and I don't get into the comic book, the convention stuff. So, but our first story is about Disney being a bunch of pricks.
Oh wow! I think I know which one was this the one that I retweeted this week?
Yeah. I Mike tipped me off to this story, and I decided, you know what? Disney's got billions upon billions of dollars. We might as well kick at their shins, I guess. But a little boy died of a incredibly rare form of cancer, and in England, and his parents wanted to put Spider-Man on his gravestone because Spider-Man was his favorite character. He was 4 years old. And
yeah, there were a bunch of very sad pictures of the poor kid, like going through chemo with like a Spider-Man figure, entwined into like the webbing of like his different, leads and wires and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty heartbreaking. And so they wrote to Disney and they asked if they could get it. The people that make the headstones, and I don't know how many of you have buried family members out there, but headstones are expensive. the guys that made the headstone say that they would donate it to the family for free if Disney gives the okay to put Spider-Man on there. And they responded that they don't like their brand to be associated with death. Therefore, they don't allow their characters to go on any monuments, so they couldn't do it. They did offer them a commemorative celluloid signed to the kid. He's dead. He's not going to get a lot of use out of that. And
yeah, you're right. Disney does hate, profiteering off of death. I mean, there's not a single Disney movie where a character dies in it.
Right, exactly. Flash to every single Disney movie.
Wait a second. Doesn't Spider-Man's uncle die in the movie?
Yeah, exactly. Spider-Man's uncle's all like, with great power comes great risk. Oh, I'm shot! But, yeah, the Spider-Man's uncle dies in the movie. The entire setup to the movie that just broke Avatar's record, the cliffhanger to that film, is half of all the universe being turned into dust. So, yeah, they certainly do deal in death sometimes. But it's just there's no money in this for them, I guess. So they don't care.
I wish the family had just done it, and then if Disney got word, they'd be in the weird position of having to sue them. That would have been the best.
Absolutely.
That would have been the best possible.
Exactly. Ask for forgiveness, not permission. They should have just done it.
I mean, that's another bullshitty part about this is, technically that's their character because they bought it, but they didn't fucking create Spider-Man.
Yeah, no kidding. Steve Ditko should have a say in, oh, he's dead too, isn't he?
Well, you just get Stanley. Fuck.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so Disney pricks. Anyone listening to this show, if you want to tweet at Disney and call them pricks and call them out for this, go ahead and be my guest. I in a very small way, I get where they're coming from, where we don't want this on a bunch of memorials and shit. But, you can't make exceptions for 4-year-old kids that die of cancer. It's ridiculous to me.
Like you said, there's no money in it for them, so I guess they're against it.
Yeah. So the only other two...
it's not like a fucking remake of a movie they already did.
Right. Exactly. If someone resurrected this kid and rebooted him, then maybe they'd want the rights to his life story. So, the only other things that I have to talk about as far as news goes today are 2 trailers that came out. Obviously, there was a bunch of trailers that came out because of Comic-Con. The first one that I'll mention, I guess, because I know Mike has no emotion or feeling about this in any way, is the Cats trailer, or the trailer for the movie Cats, which was horrifying. One of the weirdest looking things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I heard a lot of crazy reactions to it, but I didn't see it. It just, I can't imagine it'd be good. It's
so weird. And when Taylor Swift went on Twitter and said, pretty soon all of you are going to see my pussy, I did not expect that that's what she meant, this trailer.
Ugh. We want to see the other one.
What's her name? Taylor Swiss?
David Swiss.
Oh, yeah, that's right. David Swiss. So...
It's just gross.
No, but this trailer is so weird. They look so strange. I remember, first of all, I hate cats. Not the not the animal cats, but I hate the musical cats. And T.S. Eliot's my favorite poet. I even kind of hate the poem that this is based on. Practical Cats, and the movie seems like a really stupid idea to me. It's like there's some plays that just don't translate well to movies. Like you wouldn't make Our Town into a movie. I'm sure they probably have done that, but it seems like a dumb play to make.
I've seen a recording of it, which is really ridiculous because there's no set.
Yeah, exactly. There's no set, and everyone's miming their actions. There's no props. So I'm sure if they did make a movie about it, they substituted all that stuff. There was a set, there were props. I'm sure that they did something like that, even though that sort of destroys the entire thing about the play.
No, what they would do is they'd film the entire thing just like the play, but then it would cost $50 million or more.
Yeah, exactly. But the other trailer that I saw, which I was interested in, is the Jay and Silent Bob reboot trailer. Mike, did you watch this one?
Yeah, I did actually.
What were your impressions on it?
I thought it was interesting, but it ultimately didn't really show you anything, which isn't a bad thing because a lot of previews and stuff, just like show you like pardon me, all the best parts of the movie or TV show. It's like, oh, by the time you go to see it, it's just like, oh, I've already seen all the best parts. Literally, I don't get anything else out of this movie.
Yeah, I think that it looks like it's going to be a reboot, like a true reboot, where they're kind of just doing the same plot over again, but it's going to be slightly different.
Yeah, there's a lot of the same lines from the movie in there, and I mean, it looks fun. Jason Lee's in it, Ben Affleck's in it. I think I saw Matt Damon in it briefly. Val Kilmer, Kevin Smith's daughter, who was in Yoga Hosers.
Yep.
Enough said about that.
Don't get me started on Yoga Hosers.
Yeah, that was pretty great though. But yeah, it's just, I mean, there's like a wide variety of people from other Kevin Smith movies. Even people with like minor roles are also in this, so it looks like it's going to be fun for sure. But I don't know if it'll be like a great movie by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't know if it'll be a great movie, and I don't know if it will be very successful financially, but I think kind of like Jay and Silent Bob, it will be tailor-made specifically for you and I.
Yeah. I guess like in October at some point when it comes out, they're going to have a double feature of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and then the reboot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it seems kind of fun, but it seems kind of like it's going to be very long.
Yeah, I don't usually like to see two movies back to back. It's a big time commitment to put in.
Yeah, I might have to for this one though.
Yeah, I think that would be really interesting. We'll record live from the theater and just
we'll be quiet so we don't bother the other two people there.
Right. We'll just ruin everyone else's time.
Wouldn't be the first time.
But so yeah, we ruined Dustin Enat's time a little bit when he almost choked to death.
Yeah.
So now we're going to educating Mike. This is where for new viewers, this is where I educate Mike on a film. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes he's seen it. Mike, have you ever heard of the 1981 film Roar?
No.
Okay, so this movie is a vanity project, basically, from Noel Marshall, who was one of the producers on The Exorcist and a few other films in the 70s. So he made a bunch of money through producing that film and some other films. And he was married to Tippi Hedren at the time, and one of his daughters is Melanie Griffith. So they all star in this film alongside his two sons, John and I think it's Jerry.
Shit. I know what you're talking about now. Isn't this a documentary?
No, this is...
Oh, I thought they actually lived with these lions, though, didn't they?
Yes, they did. So this movie, for those of you that don't know, is sort of infamous. It's about a family that lives with lions. And I guess Tippi Hedren, when she was filming a movie in Mozambique, Satan's Harvest, she came across this plantation house.
Is that the name of the movie, or your derisive term for
for Mozambique?
Yes.
Mozambique, aka Satan's Harvest. Shout out to all the listeners in Mozambique.
Watch your back. That's all I have to say.
But no, so she came across a plantation house that had been overrun by a bunch of lions, and she learned about how they were being poached and their numbers were dwindling. So she decided to rescue some of these animals. They lived with them in a few different places: Sherman Oaks, Santa Clara, and I think even Beverly Hills, where they lived. And the sheriff came out and said, you can't do this. You can't have a bunch of lions here. So they started a preserve in Acton, California, and their son mostly lived and slept in a house with all these lions. So Noel Marshall decided he wanted to make a movie. It's the barest wisp of a plot of this film. Basically, I mean, I'm not going to read the plot summary because I really don't need to, but the entire plot of the movie, and that's not what's fun about this movie anyway. But I did watch it. I watched this movie on YouTube, and it's available for free on YouTube. It was released actually, I think, in 2014 in the United States, but it was made in the 70s and released overseas in 1981. But it was released in 2015 in the United States. It took that long to get here. But anyway, the plot is basically this guy moved to Mozambique to study lions and live with them, and his family flies in. They haven't seen him for 3 years. He and his wife are sort of having troubles in their relationship. So his 2 sons and his daughter, played by his real life sons and daughter, and his real life wife, Tippi Hedren, fly in and go to meet him. There's a miscommunication. He goes to pick them up late. They end up coming to the house and encountering the lions without him there to sort of explain what's going on and that they're all nice and everything. And then it basically turns into a horror film where they're hiding from the lions, trying to get away from the lions. Then he comes there. They realize that the lions are all nice and things like that. And I think the message of the movie is supposed to be that you don't have to be afraid of lions. But in addition to lions, there are tigers there as well, elephants, and just all manner of animals. And black panthers are there. I think there's a cheetah there as well. All these animals that wouldn't necessarily live together. Like lions and tigers don't normally interact with each other in the wild. But the crazy part about this movie is that, as it says in the beginning of the film, great care was taken not to harm any of the animals, but over 70 of the cast and crew, and by some accounts, maybe as many as 100 were injured during the filming of this. And there were some really, really bad ones. The cinematographer, Jan de Bont, had his head completely scalped by a lion while he was filming and had to get 220 stitches. Tippi Hedren, his wife, broke her leg after an elephant bucked her off its back. She was also bitten in the neck by a lion, which required 38 stitches. Melanie Griffith, her daughter, had to get 50 stitches to her face, and it was feared she would lose an eye after she was mauled by one of the lions. Noel
Does it say if the lions thought they were about to have strokes?
I assume maybe that was part of it.
That might just be tigers, though. I could be confused on this.
And what's funny is the tigers seem so much more tame than the lions. They fought a little bit, but I guess maybe because there were more lions. The lions...
That is insane, because tigers are just vicious, murderous beasts. I was watching this video on YouTube a few weeks ago, and it was someone at a zoo, and whenever they turned their back on the tiger, it just crept closer and closer. Mm. There's park rangers in a park in India where they had to they just kept getting killed by tigers left and right. They would just snatch them off their boats, and eventually they had to wear a mask with a face on the back of it, so they thought they were being looked at, because for some reason they won't attack you if you're staring at them, apparently. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't take that to heart. I could be wrong, but
right.
They'll say less likely, but it's just tigers are very vicious, deadly creatures. Not that lions aren't, but yikes. I think lions are more solo kind of hunters, so they're going to be more likely to stalk and just kill you.
Yeah, and the lions seemed more playful. They would, but they play fight with each other. So they were doing that a lot on the film. Noel Marshall was attacked so many times he was diagnosed with gangrene. Jesus. But there were so many injuries on this set. It cost them $17 million to make this movie in the late 70s and early 80s, and it made $2 million at the box office, so it did not do well.
It's probably just settling lawsuits.
Yeah, no kidding. The movie it opens with this guy comes, and he says he's supposed to be a native African. And he says, they don't never say what country they're supposed to be in Africa. Maybe it's Mozambique, Satan's harvest. But he comes in and says that he's basically the voice of the audience, because he's like, you're crazy. I can't believe you're doing this. This is ridiculous. Why are you living with these lions? And he seems incredibly frightened the entire time. And Noel Marshall the entire time is walking around saying, oh, they're so friendly and nice and everything. And then a lion just comes up and knocks him over on the ground. I mean, that's mainly what the movie is. And there's a lot of shots of tigers just either attacking people or fighting with each other. I guess the main antagonists are supposed to be these 2 hunters. that are trying to kill the lions that end up getting mauled and killed. And then the one lion that's really no worse than any of the other lions, but he says, oh, that's the bad one. He's like a rogue and trying to attack other lions. At one point in the film, I don't know if they just presented them a dead zebra off stage, because there were zebras in this preserve as well, or if they just actually hunted and killed a zebra. But at one point you can see a bunch of lions just ripping apart a zebra and then bringing like a zebra leg into the house to munch on it. So, yeah, there's a lot going on in this film, but it's crazy, and it's a kind of a disturbing watch, because the whole time you're thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? Who's going to get gotten? Because it's just, it's insane. I am all for like giant big cats not getting hunted out, not getting poached. I'm not for big game hunting or anything like that, but let them just live in the wild, in the savannah and the jungle and all the places that they live, away from people. Let them have their land and just don't mess with them. Just let them be free. So, Parents' Guide on Roar. There's nothing in sex and nudity, and there really isn't. There's nothing in profanity, nothing in drugs and alcohol, nothing in frightening scenes and violence and gore. That's where you get it. Madeline's leg was broken while filming when the elephant picked her up. Okay. That's a misnomer, actually, by the way, too. A lot of people think, because what happens is she's in a boat, and the elephant grabs her with its tusks and pulls her up on, this is Tippi Hedren, pulls her up on its back. And a lot of people think that the elephant's trunk squeezed so hard around her leg that it fractured it. How she actually fractured her leg was falling off the elephant. Because after it throws her up on its back, it kind of bucks her off and she falls off. And that fall is is how she actually fractured her leg. But yeah, pretty bad leg break. Then it just says, this movie is a series of people being attacked by lions and lions fighting each other, as well as tigers and other cats. Which is true. That's accurate. That is basically the plot of the film. A couple of people were covered in blood after being attacked, and there's real blood on the screen too. An elephant was picking Madeline up with its trunk and destroying a barrel later on. It wasn't really a barrel though. What happened is the elephant destroyed the boat. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but the elephant just messed up this boat. It crushed it with its legs. It just fucked it up, picked it up, threw it around, kicked it. It really hated this boat for some reason. And then it says, frightening and intense scenes. It gets violent halfway through the film, but nobody has died, but rather got injured. It indeed has a happy ending. A bunch of people getting violently injured. The best review, I think, on here, not the most stars, but I think just the best title for the review on IMDb, says, spineless garbage. And basically talks about how Noel Marshall is an egotist and this is a vanity project, which is absolutely accurate. So that is Roar. What do you think, Mike? Are you going to check it out on YouTube?
No.
Yeah, it's not. You don't really need to check it out. You can just watch one clip of tigers attacking someone, and that's the entire movie anyway. So now we will move on to Keeping Current with Mike. Mike, this is where we plumb the depths of the gossip world to try to figure out what's going on. I guess this is kind of like educating both of us. Mike, where are we going this week?
All right, this week we're going to usmagazine.com
Nice.
To see. I honestly don't think we've gone here before, which is weird because it's like in the top 15 of the list I have. All right, I already, starting off, I don't even know who this person is.
Okay.
Let's see. Brielle Bierman spent $100 on chicken tenders in midst of airport snafu.
Wow. Brielle Bierman. Okay, so let's figure out who Brielle Bierman is. Does she have an IMDb? I don't know.
I have no... it says it's under food. I don't know if that's considered food because the chicken tenders, or if she's in some sort of food business, like a chef maybe.
Okay, so let's see. This can't be it. No. Kimberly Marie Zolak Bierman. That's can't be the person. Maybe that's her mom or something. Let's see. Brielle Bierman is an an American Italian socialite. 22 years old.
Wait. What does that even mean? She's born in America and lives in Italy? Is that what they're saying?
I guess, maybe.
'Cause I've heard, as ridiculous as the term is, I've heard Italian American, which means like your ancestors are from Italy or something.
Right.
What the fuck does American or Italian mean? That doesn't make any sense.
So, yeah, maybe she lives in Italy now, but she went to Johns Creek High School and Roswell High School. Or Roswell High School, I mean.
You know who else lived in Italy? Beverly D'Angelo. She was married to an Italian count for a while ago.
Oh, nice. I did not realize that.
Yeah, I listened to the Gilbert Gottfried podcast with her on it, and they explained that.
So she is 22, born in Atlanta, Georgia, and is known for the show Don't Be Tardy. Is that a Saved by the Bell ripoff or something?
It sounds like it.
So let's see.
Like it sounds like the English version of Saved by the Bell.
Right. Don't be tardy. It's satisfactory because I'm not tardy. Don't Be Tardy is an American reality television series that premiered in 2012. Let's see. It follows the daily life of Kim Zolciak, an American television. So I think that's her mom. She's on The Real Housewives, and Croy Bierman, a former American football defensive end and outside linebacker. He was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons in the 5th round in 2008. He must have sucked.
Probably, yeah.
Because I've never heard of him. Although I'm sure you could kick my ass, Croy, because you did make it to the NFL. So I guess she's on that show. It's a reality show about somebody's life. We're vaguely famous for some reason, and that's who she is. So she paid $100 for a chicken tender. Great.
That's a top story, by the way.
What news? God.
Or is that really common on the price of chicken tenders at the airport?
Yeah, no kidding. I'm so glad that the press is the only constitutionally protected business. God, let's see. Average price of chicken tenders at an airport. Let's see if Google gives me anything on that. Let's see. Oh, Phoenix Airport, have prices gone up? Let's see. You can expect to pay $15 for chicken tenders. So that's quite above the average.
Yeah, I guess.
$15 for chicken tenders at the airport. Go fuck yourself.
Right, the next rip from the headline story is... Mm-hmm. Black China reveals which Kardashian kid is Dream's favorite cousin.
Okay.
Now, because we live in a terrible country full of assholes, I know way too much about the story. Let's see. Black China is... I think she might have dated Kanye West at some point. I think she has a child with the Kardashian brother guy.
Okay.
So basically what she's saying is her 2-year-old child has a favorite cousin, and it's worthy of mentioning. What the fuck? I mean, first of all, if your 2-year-old says they have a favorite person, that's hardly newsworthy.
Right, no kidding. Let me tell you the first line on Wikipedia of Black China's career. Black China began stripping in Maryland to pay for college tuition while attending...
Yeah, I'm sure she went to college.
Right. Johnson and Wales University in Miami, Florida. Wait, what? She stripped in Maryland to pay for college in Florida? That makes sense.
It was a hell of a commute. That's why she needed all that money.
Okay, here's the next line. But she resumed stripping and was too exhausted to attend classes. She dropped out after repeatedly falling asleep in class, focusing instead on stripping and modeling.
You remember the old expression, yeah, she's hot, she's stripper hot, but is she Maryland stripper hot?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. So, she, I guess her exotic look made her popular. Radio host Angela Yee described her as looking like someone who is going to be famous. Okay, I guess. I mean, she doesn't look special to me in any way.
I bet I didn't read the story, but I bet her kid instantly likes the most famous of the cousins. Like, oh, that's your favorite. She really fucking yells at this child. No.
Yep. She was cast as Nicki Minaj's stunt double in the song "Monster" by Kanye West.
What?
I guess I don't know. She's had several surgeries to increase her breast size. She also had a surgery to make them smaller. Okay.
Make up your mind.
Her chest is a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Let's see. So, personal life. China said rapper Tyga asked her to join him on tour in 2011, but she refused. That sounds like something a stripper would do. Let's see. She appeared in his music video Rack City and began a relationship with him. They had a son together. They split in 2014 when she began a relationship with Kylie Jenner, when he began a relationship with Kylie Jenner. China and Jenner feuded with each other over social media, but China mended her relationship with the Kardashians after she began dating Jenner's half-brother Rob Kardashian. Their daughter was born in 2016. So, that's so weird. I guess
Breaking news.
Yeah, they're split up now, so... Yeah,
I have an update on our big chicken tender story.
Okay, yeah, what's up?
I clicked the link and I realized it was a clickbait link.
Oh, really?
It wasn't actually at the airport, but at a trendy restaurant just outside the airport, where the chicken strip tenders cost $25 and a plate of fries is an additional $12. So really, it's not unreasonable if you consider the prices.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, those prices, but yeah.
I mean, it's like like a upscale restaurant will charge you, $12 for a plate of fries.
Right. So far we've got reality TV star or daughter of reality TV star buys chicken and former
Well, when you put it like that, it kind of demeans the whole story there.
Former stripper's daughter has favorite relative. Where are we going now?
This next one is Wendy Williams breaks down, says she won't reconcile with his strange husband, Kevin Hunter. Quote, girl, no. That's her quote.
Oh my god. Okay, so...
And what's another funny part before we break that open a bit is it's like they'll have like a little like a header for the story. Mm-hmm. This is like a hashtag kind of thing. It's under splits.
Oh,
it's
God.
They split up.
Oh. So, unfortunately, I know who Wendy Williams is.
I hate Wendy Williams with a passion.
Talk show host. I think she was friends with Oprah or something. And I don't know anything about this Kevin Hunter, though. So, I don't know.
It's her husband who I guess had an affair on her. I mean, if you could imagine anybody having an affair on her.
Yeah, how could you walk away from that face?
Right.
Oh God. Yeah, she's very annoying to me. She might be a really good person because I don't know anything about her, but
no, she's not.
But she
won't even give Kevin Hunter a second chance.
Seriously, when I used to work at the casino as a dealer, we had a common room where people would eat. Some people could sleep because we worked the overnight shift, and there was a TV in there. And sometimes I'd take my break, early in the morning, and Wendy Williams' show would be on, and I would just walk out. I couldn't even stand to be in the same room.
Yeah, whenever I used to have lunch, like at work, we used to have a cafeteria, which we don't anymore, but that would always be on at the exact same time, and it bothered me so much.
Yeah, no good.
Yeah, that's all we have in the celebrity news this week, Mark. Back to you.
All right. Well, I'm going to debut a new segment here. This is, now I'm pretty sure Where Are They Now is probably a copywritten term or something. So this is going to be called What Are They Up To? So
currently.
Yeah. So we're going to choose a movie and find out what the stars are currently up to. So first up is Gone with the Wind. Let's see what the stars of Gone with the Wind are up to.
It's going to be a short section right here.
So Clark Gable's dead. 1960, he died. Vivian Lee's dead. George Reeves, of course, famous for playing Superman later. He's dead. Died in 1959. Ward Bond, dead. Leslie Howard's dead. He died in the Bay of Biscay. That's kind of sad as fuck because he died June 1st, 1943. Hattie McDaniel, so she's dead. Barbara O'Neill's dead. Evelyn Keyes is dead. Thomas Mitchell's dead. Butterfly McQueen died in 1995.
Is anybody alive from this movie?
So I guess that's the point of the segment. Let's find out who's actually alive. There are a couple living people from this movie, amazingly. But let's see. So I want to mention that there are several children in this movie as well, like Cammie King Conlon, who played Bonnie Blue Butler. Yeah, she's dead. So next time you see that movie and you look at that little cute 5-year-old face, remember that she grew up to be an adult and then died. I think she was like 80. Olivia de Havilland is somehow still alive. I mean, good for you, Miss de Havilland. June 1st, 1916. And she is still alive.
My God.
103 years old.
I'd say 103 years young.
Mickey Kuhn, who was one of the children, is also the other person that's still alive. He is currently 86. So that's what they're up to now. Most of them are dead. But those two are still alive. So maybe next week, if we do this again, I'll kind of go through some of their exploits and everything. I was originally going to do Birth of a Nation as the first movie that we did.
Isn't that your favorite movie?
Right, exactly. What a classic. But that, I figured this would be more fun because at least a couple people are alive. Olivia de Havilland, still hanging on. Good for you.
Good for you. But you never shut up about fucking Gone with the Wind, though.
So now we're moving on to our Parents Guide game.
Wait, real quick. I failed to realize something.
Yeah.
The U.S. Weekly or U.S. Magazine is the... they're the company that does the Stars Are Just Like Us thing. And I feel guilty if I didn't share this one with you. Mm-hmm. It's a picture of Sharon Stone looking like kind of vaguely confused, picking out like glasses.
Another scintillating headline. Sharon Stone buys glasses.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This is what the headline reads. It says, they pick out sunglasses. And then under that, it goes, what a spectacle.
Oh, my God. The guy that took that picture better have said, what a scoop.
He probably did. Because that's the last time anyone cared about Sharon Stone.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh.
Yeah, we've seen your beeve. Congrats.
Yeah, you're washed up in Hollywood now.
Speaking of giant beavers, have you ever seen that picture of Demi Moore's huge bush?
I have, actually.
What the fuck?
I don't know. It's one of the weirdest things.
Now you kind of know how Bruce Willis was able to get her.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like she's turning into a panther vagina first.
Oh my God. Yeah, it looks like she has Bob Ross. It looks like she has Bob Ross in a leg lock.
It's a mess.
It really is. Clean that up, please. When she shaved her head for G.I. Jane, do you think that extended other parts?
I think she just added that to the other hair.
Yeah, exactly.
She got a weave. Notice G.I. Jane never wore shorts?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, so is she still with Ashton Kutcher? Good luck, sir.
I have no idea.
Anyway, so on to the Parents Guide game. Winner last week. I guess Nicholas won last week. I'll go back and check and see if anyone else said anything because I reposted it a bunch of times. I scheduled it to repost a bunch of times. This week, I'm telling you, guess it or you're not getting this anymore. And no more prizes. No more first place prizes. I'm telling you, we're going to give away a $50 gift certificate at some point, or to that. But unfortunately, it's to that restaurant where chicken wings cost $25.
You get 2 orders of chicken wings. Maybe you run into a possible celebrity.
Right. So I'll go first this week. Okay. Let me see what the best one is. I'll start with profanity because it's pretty innocuous. 7 uses of goddamn and 1 use of Jesus' name in vain. I can't even say it.
I wish I would have said the Lord's name in vain.
7 uses of son of a bitch, 5 of ass, non-sexual, 3 of bastard, 1 of dick and crap. Is that dick and crap or just
crap?
Dick and crap?
Or like dick inside crap? Because that's very important to my guess here.
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely changes the mood.
Right? 1 use of piece of ass and banging from hostile characters. And some racial slurs, mainly against Italians, but towards other races also. This includes 2 uses of the N-word, which they don't say the N-word, they write it out. Hard R and all.
Wow.
So good for them.
Huh. Well, I know this one isn't super bad.
No. No, not at all.
Well, that's really... That sounds like... Is this Pulp Fiction again? No, that's usually only 2 uses.
Good call. Good call. It's not Pulp Fiction, but
They way undershot that.
but good call. Quentin Tarantino alone uses that word
Right?
more than 2 times.
He describes his front lawn
Right.
with that word.
Oh, God.
A man threatens to break someone's neck.
Okay. True Lies.
No, but I saw that you did that on Retro Leafy. I really enjoy that movie. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, we gave it a really good review, too, on Retro Late Fee, because I love that movie, too. It's a really fun movie. It's
even though Arnold Schwarzenegger almost rapes his wife at one point, it's a
Right.
fun movie.
It's smart. It's it's fun. It rides the line perfectly of this is an action movie, but it's also a comedy and
Yeah,
we're
it's like
having
a
fun.
classic like screwball comedy almost with a lot of like really hard action parts, so you can enjoy it. If you're into action, you can enjoy it. If you're into comedy, romance,
Absolutely.
you can enjoy it. If you're into tricking your wife to thinking she was raped, I'll tell you.
Exactly.
So I feel that James Cameron wrote that part or they interrupted it because he just couldn't think of where to go from there.
Yeah, no kidding.
What's going to happen there? Nothing can happen.
Did James Cameron hate Bill Paxton, by the way?
He might have.
I'm starting to wonder because he
Put him in most of his movies.
he put him in almost every movie he was ever in, but he was such like an asshole or a moron in most of the roles.
Yeah,
that
he's
he put
definitely
in.
an asshole or a moron in all of his roles. I didn't see Titanic though, but I don't know if he's an asshole or a moron in that one.
Yeah, I guess he's more of a bored guy listening to an old woman talk.
So he's a moron then.
Yeah. All right, so drugs, alcohol, and smoking. Some casual smoking and drinking. A minor theme of drug trafficking is present in the film. It is presented as lucrative, but a dirty, dangerous business.
Ah, shit. Is it Slackers?
No?
No. See, the N word is. I should know right away if I've seen this movie or not. That's a really rare word to hear these days.
No kidding.
Unless you're listening to rap music.
Yeah, true.
A man slaps a woman in the face.
Threatening to break a neck and slappings. This isn't Pulp Fiction again. Is it?
No.
Let's see. I am going to guess. I don't know. Go?
No, that's a good thought though.
It is worth noting that much of the violence in this movie is depicted realistically and may be considered as disturbing to some, not for the faint of heart.
This isn't. I think he already did this one, so it can't be Forrest Gump, correct?
No. No, you can have another guess if you want, because it's not that.
Because that. Jackie Brown.
No, but good thought.
Again, that's far too few instances of a certain word to be that movie. Mm-hmm. There is a scene which includes the buttocks of several nude statues, though this is brief and non-sexual. Look that they clarified that it's non-sexual.
Right. Nude statues. Okay, so, several of them, too. Conan the Barbarian.
No.
Okay. A woman reveals herself to her new husband. We see her bare breasts and nipples. And I'll give you one more, too. A woman makes a hand gesture implying her husband has a large penis.
I have no idea. I'm sure when you say what it is, it's gonna, is it? No, I say it can't be basketball because, again, the N-word is such a fucking, obvious thing. I don't know. I can't even guess.
All right.
At a party for one of the characters, there are several women that are scantily clad.
At a party for one of the characters. Old School?
No.
All right. I was trying to think when someone threatened to break a neck in Old School. A man gets into a fist fight with his brother-in-law while children are watching.
Gee, this is Old School. It can't be because I'm kind of getting a picture of what this might be in my mind. I cannot guess what it is. I don't know. I honestly don't.
Yeah, it's probably going to take a few more of them. I mean, I have one that will absolutely give it away, but
sure,
I'm gonna wait on that one.
I'm just trying to. This one might give it away. I've never seen this movie, so it might be pretty obvious. A scene transition features an unexpected appearance of a bird accompanied by a loud and sudden squawk.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Oh, no, really? Maybe he does in that movie. Is it Bachelor Party?
No.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to give you two here because this one, I just like the way this one's written, but lots of blood and guns, period. Good bit of blood. Lots of blood and guns. There's a good bit of blood in this movie. A man is shot by others with machine guns. He is shown bloody with wounds from roughly 11 seconds, or for roughly 11 seconds. A bloody smear then appears on his mouth for 2 seconds. Wow, they measured it down to the second.
Now that you said after the first part, I thought I had it, but I don't think I do now. It's not Dusk Till Dawn, is it?
No. I'll tell you, it's not a Tarantino movie.
Sure.
Even though it uses the N-word. From what I remember of this movie, maybe they use it twice. They might use it twice, yeah. I remember one very specifically they use it.
Some of the banter between this character and his first wife could be considered sexual, although it's very subtle. Later, an affair is implied between this character and his soon-to-be second wife, resulting in scandal and loss of public election.
Ooh. Okay, well, that's a big clue. All right. Scandal and loss of public election. Oh, wait, no. Yes. Okay, it's got to be that, right? Does he threaten to break someone's neck in that movie? I know someone slapped. I know the party, where very beautifully shot scene in that party, too. That I'll tell you about in a minute if it's the movie I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's got to be. I don't remember the neck-breaking part, but it's got to be Citizen Kane.
You mean a mortician, a mortician, a mortician. Yes, it's Citizen Kane.
The shot where they're at the party and they're the two, Joseph Cotton and I can't remember the other guy's name, but his friends, they're talking about him. Orson Welles frames the shot so there's a window between the two of them, and in the reflection of the window is Charles Foster Kane dancing, and that's who they're talking about. It like beautifully implies that that's always kind of between them and everything. That movie is brilliant. I love Citizen Kane. Okay, so I'm going to give you the most obvious clue since I got it. A man wakes up in his bed to find blood on his bed sheets. He begins to panic. Removes his clothes.
I guess it does make sense. The Godfather, obviously.
Yep, The Godfather.
Because I'm trying to. I should have guessed it was an earlier movie because of the casual use of the N-word.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it obviously all makes sense now, even the drug trafficking part.
Yep, so that's the one. So the second one that I
and I'll be more frank.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I knew you saw that movie because we watched it together. I'm sure you've seen it without me, but I remember the first time I ever saw it, I was at your house.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that in the second movie. And the third movie is not very good.
No, it's not. Second movie is very good, though. I still kind of think, I know it's sacrilegious to say, but I still kind of think I like the first movie better than the second movie. The second movie is tremendous, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, the first movie could exist on its own. I mean, the second one, I guess, could as well, but it'd be more confusing and big parts. I think the second one is a better movie, but I can definitely see how you could like the first movie more.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. If you're objectively like rating the movie as far as, you know, cinematography, shot composition, and stuff like that, the second one and even acting, the second one probably is better. But I just like the first one more.
Sure, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, obviously, we would be neglectful not to mention that Francis Ford Coppola actively supported a pedophile to make the film.
Yeah, exactly. Jeepers Creepers. So the second movie is one where I'm kind of out on a limb because I'm not sure if you've seen it or not. But I'm confident enough that even if you haven't seen it, you might be able to get it, and I think you might have. But I'll give you that proviso at the top that I'm not sure if you've seen it or not.
That's fair.
So, under sex and nudity, a few implied sexual jokes, including masturbation.
Citizen Kane.
That's it. No, I'm just joking. No, not Citizen Kane.
A person commits suicide with a gun. Lots of blood spurts out the back of his head.
The Shawshank Redemption.
What's funny is I was going to pick that one. That was literally the one I was looking at, but it just was, all the clues were way too obvious. Mm-hmm. But no, it's not the Shawshank Redemption. Like, I have it in my next tab. Like, I was looking at it as you were asking me the last question just to make sure, but the clues are way too obvious.
Oh, if only. Okay, profanity. 1 use of fuck, 15 uses of shit, a few uses of ass, crap, etc. There's also one scene where the middle finger is used by a child.
Huh. Problem Child.
No, but that's definitely a good guess.
Yeah, that title of that movie is not lying. That kid really was a fucking problem.
He was. It was a big problem. He was such a problem that later John Ritter died.
Jeez. I heard that Gilbert Gottfried was on the Loveline show.
Okay, that would have been hilarious to see.
And the kid from Problem Child, I think his name's Michael Oliver, I think. Mm-hmm. He actually called up and he's like, "Oh, hey," you know, I guess he hadn't talked to him in like 20 years or something like.
Uh-huh.
It was just weird. Like, by all reports, like, his family was kind of like one of those really nuts families, you know, like the classic like childhood actor family. Mm-hmm. Speaking of profanity, frequent language throughout: 48 uses of fuck, 4 uses of dick and balls. Now I don't know if that's 4 of dick and 4 of balls, a combo of the two. I don't know, or maybe they say dick and balls 44 times. 20 uses of shit, 10 uses of hell, 1 use of goddamn, and 2 uses of the N-word, also spelled out with a hard R.
Wow. Okay. So again, 2 uses of the N word. That's tough.
In your household, they call that a good day, huh? I know, like you just said, it must be tough for you.
That's definitely restrained. We know my swear jar is full of nickels because that's what every time we say the N word, put a nickel in.
You won't see any Harriet Tubman 20s in there.
Okay, so the first clue was someone shoots themselves.
And it's bloody.
That's tough. Because, I mean, obviously my mind goes to Tarantino, of course, because of the N-word. But I'm guessing that's not it.
Again, that's I don't think I've ever seen a Tarantino movie that has a word in it that's only 2 times.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. What's a movie where someone kills themselves? Oh, it's not... what the hell was that movie called? The one with Hitler.
Inglourious Bastards?
No, the one where like it's like the last days in his bunker or whatever.
Oh, with Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I've seen the memes and such.
I'm guessing it's not that.
It's not.
Downfall. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. Hitler's dead.
Well, I guess everyone can change their tune, huh, Mark?
Okay, so this is under drugs and alcohol. Teenage... Yep.
Okay, yeah, I think it's my turn, actually.
No, I just guessed downfall.
Yeah, so... Okay, you're right. Sorry. All this Hitler talk got me worked up.
He wasn't quite as bad as Stalin. I mean, Stalin killed more,
Oh, you dick. I was thinking of drink when you said that.
Teenage cigarette smoking, teenage drug use including cultivating marijuana and smoking marijuana from a bong.
Encino Man.
No, but I'll say not necessarily because of who made it or who was in it, but maybe more era. You're on the right track.
That's fair. A woman is shot in the abdomen. Blood soaks up her blouse.
Ooh. I don't know. RoboCop?
No.
All right.
And just as a clue, it's nothing but Paul Vanderhooven.
Okay. Let's see. One of the kids falls out of a tree and breaks his leg. We see him lying on the ground in pain. He is taken to the hospital.
Huh. What's eating Gilbert Grape?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. A man is choked and kidnapped by an unknown individual.
Mystic River?
No.
Okay. Let's see. I'm running out of ones that won't give it away. No, I did that one. Can't do that. Can't do that. Okay, I gotta chance it with that. In the beginning, the babysitter goes into a teenage boy's room. There are posters of topless women. The nipples are covered with items, though.
Is it Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead?
Yep, there you go.
Oh, yeah, I haven't really seen that one.
I know Alex has seen it, so
Yeah,
I
I've
wasn't
seen
sure.
parts of it, but I haven't seen it. I didn't know there was like a drug, side plot or something.
Yeah, her brother, Kenny.
Like it was a real near-do-well from the bits I saw of him.
Oh, yeah, but he cleans up his act. Don't worry about that.
I'll give you a couple clues. I haven't seen this movie. I'm 100% positive you have.
Okay.
So I might be giving away more than I know. This is under violence and gore. This thriller film does not have any kills until the last 20 minutes of it.
Saw?
No.
All right. No, that doesn't make any sense either.
Let's see. A woman expresses her acknowledgement of a man's fantasies about fucking her. The man denies in disgust. A woman touches the protagonist's arm in admiration to his physique, and then asks his girlfriend if he's truly better in a reference to his sexual performance. Balki Bartakamus will be disappointed in you right now.
Well, the only movie I can think of for the minute is... Well, let me see. Yeah, she does get shot. That is true, yes, I think. Is it The Langoliers?
Oh no, that's not a direct reference. You'll see when you figure out what it is.
Okay.
A house is set on fire.
A house is set on fire? Okay.
You are going to be very upset when you find out what this is.
Probably.
A person's brain is operated on with detail. The incision is seen and the top of his head is removed. We briefly see the brain. The scalp and skull are thrown into a wastebasket. Extremely graphic and very disturbing and shown in bloody detail.
The scalp and skull are thrown into wastebasket, so they're not using that anymore. So the person's either got to be dead or... I mean, I don't know. I don't know any other... Let's see, a brain operation. So a movie with a brain operation uses the N-word twice. Some woman gets shot in the abdomen. Fuck. I don't know. Give me another one.
A joke about sex slaves is briefly said when a character asks another about a situation being suspicious. This joke is referenced to again later in the movie by this...
Sex slaves. Fuck. Is it Taken?
No.
When do they? No, because they don't do a brain thing in that either.
An older woman asks, "Is black really better?" referencing the penis size of the young man.
Oh, okay. So. Oh wait, no, that doesn't happen in that movie, does it? A brain up? Oh, what the hell? Jesus Christ!
I think you figured it out.
Yeah, Get Out.
Correct.
Oh my God, how did I not get that sooner?
As Balki Bartakamus would say, "Get out of the city."
Right, exactly. Oh my God. Yes, that makes sense. Oh man. Yeah, I should have got that way sooner. So, for the kids at home here, this is your game. If you want to win a prize, I would suggest guessing. Let's see. Oh, hey, I've got someone killing themselves in this one, too. So, violence and gore. A man commits suicide by shooting himself through the mouth off screen. We only hear a gunshot. Let's see. Several instances of smoking. A couple brief instances of drinking. A few scenes of peril, as expected from the movie's premise. Nothing substantially violent, though. And let's see if I can get one that is... I guess this is the most... I mean, this is hard. I guess this is the most descriptive one in here. There is a quick shot of a rotted corpse with worms crawling from its head. I'm going to give you guys one more because all of these are extremely... I'm going to have to make up one, I think. This movie is based on a book. A somewhat popular book. That's all I got. So, if you can get this one, good for you. And you'll definitely deserve a prize. Mike, I'll cut this out.
Might be super bad.
All right, so now we got to do a promo. So last week I had no idea what show we were doing a promo for, and it turned out that we were doing a promo for Retro Late Fee. So we did a promo for, the other show, and I hope you enjoyed that. Today we're doing a promo for a really popular show on the network, just one of the most popular there is out there. In case you can't tell, I'm wasting time so that I can look it up because I still don't know what we're doing. It's the next one down on the list. I'll tell you that. It is. Is it Philosophy? I was on the show. I like the show a lot, actually. It basically explores different kind of big picture question things. The episode that I was on, we talked about the episode of Black Mirror where, it's the 80s, but they're dead. And they go into they get poured into a computer, basically. And that's the afterlife. That was an interesting episode. We talked about what it meant to be alive, basically. Could you live forever? Is that possible? Is that really them? Is it somebody else? And we went around and around on that and answered no questions. But it was a really interesting conversation. So
long story short, you are not alive anymore. This is a copy of you.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said on the show. That was the conclusion that I ultimately came to, is that it's not you. It's just a clone of you. Even if, you think it's you, it's not.
You have to believe in magic for that to actually be real.
Yep. So here is a commercial for Is It Philosophy?
On Is It Philosophy, we are not going to explore the philosophers of long forgotten. We'll not ponder Plato or Socrates. There are so many podcasts out there for that, if that's what you're seeking. This is something different. A place where all ideas are welcome. An open forum to talk about anything and everything. We take an idea and work to find an answer. It may not always be the most insightful, so come and listen with an open mind. Who knows, you may like what we have to say. So come and enjoy and ask yourself, is it philosophy?
Well, that was Is It Philosophy? Check that show out. Really good. Matthew does a really good job on that show. I guess, I don't know if it's our main topic or whatever you want to call it, but the little review section of the show we do now, where it comes to streaming stuff and all that stuff. Mike, I don't know if you watched any of it. We talked about it a little bit last week, but I watched Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. I watched the first 3, I think. I didn't watch them all.
Yeah, I watched the one with Seth Rogen. I'm trying to think of the one before that one.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I saw the Eddie Murphy one. That one was really fascinating. And the same day that they came out with that episode, there was suddenly a story that Netflix was in talks with Eddie Murphy to produce a new comedy special.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that one with Eddie Murphy.
I don't know if it's one or more, but they say it's going to be a $70 million sort of deal.
Oh, that's good. He needs
for someone who hasn't done stand-up comedy in 30 years.
Right.
I mean, I'd be nervous as him. I mean, he hasn't done it in so long, and if you look at his old stuff, it's super it would not fly these days because it's very unpolitically correct.
Oh, absolutely. He talks about
his Mr. T part a bit. It's I know it's kind of nuts.
But yeah, he talked that it's the longest one. The first one with Eddie Murphy is the longest one of the season I saw. And it was, like you said, it was really fascinating. I really feel like I got a look into Eddie Murphy's kind of life and personality a little bit. And I have to say, I know, how you feel about Seinfeld and his stand-up comedy and everything. I was never the biggest fan of Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up comedy. I liked the show, but I think the parts of the show that I like are a lot of the stuff that didn't necessarily have to do with Jerry Seinfeld. A lot of the stuff
but he did a lot of the writing, so I mean, from what I heard when they wrote the shows, they have a writer's room, but pretty much Jerry and Larry David did the entire script. They'd act the writers, hey, what's something funny that happened in your life? And they were all kind of crazy personalities and stand-up comedians, So if you think about it, I can't name a single person who was a writer for Seinfeld who went on to be super successful aside from Seinfeld or Larry David. I could be wrong. I mean,
no, I think you're right. They certainly didn't have. It wasn't like your show of shows or the Dick Van Dyke Show or something.
Yeah, it's not like the Simpsons. It's not like the Simpsons writers' room, or Conan O'Brien's writing staff. I mean, it's not. I mean, Louis C.K. Started there. Well,
I like how I like how I gave an example of two shows from like 55 years ago, and you gave the contemporary example.
Yeah, I mean it's not like it's like the greatest like writing staff ever, but I mean I'm not a big fan of like we said before, I'm not a huge Seinfeld fan, but I appreciate, like, I really like him on the show, like his actual person I really enjoy. He's just kind of fun, and he's like really, you tell he's kind of arrogant, but he's has a deserved reason to be arrogant. He's like one of the most successful like TV writers / stars of all time.
And I think he has an awareness of his arrogance too, which
makes it funnier.
Yeah, and I like him a lot when he's not being funny or not trying to be funny. Like the serious moments from him on the show, I think, or the parts where he's just curious about something and really wants to ask somebody, about something, or they're having a discussion about just different philosophies of stand-up comedy. I think that's the best stuff from him on the show.
Yeah, I think when he's being honest, like people think he's joking because like he's just kind of an asshole, but he's like not embarrassed by it, and he he realizes that he can use it to his advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Like those are the funniest moments in the show. Like and then Norm Macdonald's show, like Norm Macdonald's like, he's like, clean comedy is superior, and Jerry without hesitation is like, yeah, it's superior. Which he's like well known as being a clean comedian.
Yep.
Even curious enough, even on the show, I've noticed they bleep like the the profanity.
Yeah. They do.
And Seinfeld never uses profanity. I never hear him being bleeped. Like it's like always like Eddie Murphy had a decent amount, but Seth Rogen was just like swearing left and right. And
he really was.
It's just weird that it's beeped,
Yeah, and I guess I assume that just comes from how you were raised, and I swear a lot, so I'm not obviously I use the N-word a lot. So. but no, I swear a lot, so I'm not saying that if you swear it means your household was worse. I just mean it's different. Obviously, like Seth Rogen and guys like that, they grew up in households where swearing was a little more free, and I'm gonna guess that Jerry Seinfeld's parents like never swore. So I mean that just rubbed off on him.
Yeah, that, or maybe you think it's like a better marketing tactic, like
it's possible. Like
the comedian Brian Regan, like he never like swears on stage, but off stage he does. But people just assume he doesn't. Like him and like what's his name, Jim Gaffigan. They're adult human beings. I'm sure they swear. They just choose not. They want to make their shows as accessible to as many people as possible, and like it's actually kind of harder in some ways to not swear when you're doing comedy. So
I would imagine, yeah.
Like Jerry said, I'm sure it is in a way superior.
Yeah, I guess I remember him saying something, and it might have been on that Norm Macdonald bit, or it might have been on something else, but he was talking about, I think it was a joke about Superman or something like that, something that's right up Jerry Seinfeld's alley, and he said he was working out the joke, and he used the F word in the joke, like his fucking cape, or something like that, and he said, I tried it without the swear word, and it didn't get a laugh. It only got a laugh with the swear word. And he's like, so I just cut it at that point. Because he's like, well, it's not, if the joke can't stand up on its own without the profanity, then, it's not a joke I want to use. It's not that good of a joke then. It was his point of view, which I can see, what he's saying there. Sometimes swearing just is funny, though. And that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own.
But yeah, Eddie Murphy's episode was absolutely fascinating when he talked about his kids, his adult kids that had left the house, and what it felt like. And we both have kids. Mike and I both have young kids. Don't Google us or come look for us. Obviously, that's not on. But don't do any of that. But just to let you in a little bit. And I never use our last names on purpose because I'm afraid of you people. But Mike and I both have young kids. And for me, I don't know if it did the same thing for you, but for me, when he was talking about it, kind of hit home where he was saying, yeah, when they become teenagers, they kind of go out, but they always come back to you. But when they leave and they're leaving for good, it's like you just walk around a room and cry and stuff like that. And I started thinking about, my oldest is 13. She'll be 14, in September. And which is insane to me.
Yes, it is.
but like I think about that and I'm like, wow, yeah, at some point they're going to leave the house and, they're going to have their own lives and that's going to be weird. So I felt like I got a lot intimate look at his life. And plus when he was talking about doing stand-up comedy and saying that, you got to work things out and things like that. And Eddie Murphy kind of I've like you and I are pretty much on lockstep with this. I think about comedians should be able to joke about whatever they want to about. But Eddie Murphy gave me even more fuel to argue with when I have to argue against people about this. When he was talking about, he made a joke about Joan Rivers' husband that killed himself, and because she used to make fun of him all the time, and he was like, oh, he got sick of those jokes or whatever. And he's like, because I was famous, that came out, Joan Rivers got hurt and everything. He's like, that wasn't even a bit yet. I was just trying that out. And he said you can't know if something's funny. You have to work it out on stage. Like, that's part of his writing process. And that makes sense to me, where, some things like that can blow up, but it's just a comedian working on something. Could this be funny? Can I turn this into something?
Yeah, it's like a rough draft of something that needs to be finalized.
Exactly, and that they should have the freedom to be able to do that and work out things like that. And he talked a lot about that, about wanting to come back and do stand up, about wanting to work out on stage and everything like that. And I think you and I are the same in this instance too. Is I'm fascinated by comedians and stand-up comedians and kind of what their process is and how they write things and stuff like that. So this stuff is like gold to me.
Yeah, and it's a really weird comedy. Like, if you hear like a joke once, you're basically like, if you ever hear it again, it's not funny anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And like it's so bizarre. Like, it's like, basically stand-up comedians are doing their best to make you think they're just coming up with something on the spot that's just absolutely hilarious. Whereas my wife and I went and saw Dave Attell a few years ago, and then he released a special afterwards. And it was all the same jokes from this. It wasn't funny anymore. But when we actually saw him in person, like, we were like right stateside, and it was like I was like having so many like those big laughs that like make you feel like you can't breathe. It was just like the whole show was like just like great joke after great joke, and then when you see it again, it's like, okay, I've heard that. It's not. Whereas, like, with music, you'll hear, like, a song, and then, like, oh, I want to hear it. The more you hear it, the more you like it, to an extent. But it's like with, like, comedy, like, after the very first joke, you basically shoot, like, all your shot on that one, so.
Yeah, the surprise is a big part of it. Like, there's so much about a joke that how it works is, kind of surprise or an introduction of a new idea, and you're right. After that initial thing, it doesn't really work that much anymore. Ricky Gervais told a joke on the episode that he was on, and I've never found him hilarious or anything like that, but he was, and don't tweet at us, Ricky Gervais, because I know that you search your name on Twitter and all that stuff to try to, call people out that say bad things about you. But, we're good. We're on good terms, Mr. Gervais. But anyway, he told a joke that I thought was really funny, like one of the funnier jokes I've heard, where he says he came up on stage and said, I've been 18 years sober, and they all start clapping and everything. And he kind of holds up his hand and he goes, the first 18 years. And then he says, every year after that, I've been drunk every day since then. And then he said the paper picked it up the next day and says Ricky Gervais admits to being drunk every day since his 18th birthday. Which is just ridiculous.
Yes.
But so yeah, that like the surprise of that, the setup, and then the surprise of the payoff, that's what makes that really funny.
And I also found interesting about the Seth Rogen interview is I always heard that Seth Rogen was like a stand-up comedian, but according to him, he really wasn't much of one. Like, he moved like to the United States, and like he just like gave it up quickly to become a writer. I know he wrote on the Ali G show.
Yeah.
I don't know at what point, but and then obviously he like went on the show Freaks and Geeks, which I think he also wrote on that one. I could be wrong though.
No, I think you're right. I know Paul Feig did a lot of the writing, but I think he was part of the writers' room. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just kind of interesting because like I thought this whole time he was like a stand-up comedian, but according to him, he really was barely a stand-up comedian at all.
Yeah, I like his analogy too, where he says that a buddy of his wanted to be a boxer, and he said, I wanted to be a boxer until the first time I fought a guy that really wanted to be a boxer.
Right.
And he says, I came out to LA to be a stand-up comedian until I got to the clubs and saw people perform that really wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And he's like, I'm just not as good as these people.
Right.
And they showed one clip of him, which was, I mean, it was somewhat humorous for a 15-year-old kid, but not, uproariously funny or anything like that.
Right.
Seth Rogen's a little hit or miss for me, I guess, as far as his movies go. But I do appreciate his comedy, and I like at least a handful of the movies that he and Evan Goldberg have written. I think are very funny.
Yeah, like I always joke that my first guest is always Superbad, but
Right.
that's a really funny movie. I mean, I always forget how funny it is when you rewatch it. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Pineapple Express. I've seen not all of it, but most of it. I like the parts I saw. I thought they were funny.
Yeah, I actually like Pineapple Express too.
And I like This Is the End a lot too.
This Is the End is one of my favorites of his movies. I think
It's just like a crazy movie from the beginning to the end.
And I was surprised because I heard the premise of the movie and I said to myself, okay, well, this is going to be terrible. So I didn't go to the theater to watch it, and I never really had any desire to watch it. And then it showed up on TV. We have YouTube TV instead of like actual cable, and it came up on there, and it's unedited, which is good. And so I was like, you know what, I'm
Nice.
gonna.
Oh, I didn't know they had movies on there.
Yeah, they do. They have. There's two ways you can get movies on there. If movies are playing on any of the channels that you have, then obviously they'll record if you ask them to. But they also just kind of have a bank of movies that they have on there as well. That they'll have little commercial breaks, but not as much as if you were watching on regular TV. But they're unedited,
Nice.
which is good.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I was like, I'm gonna check it out because I like Seth Rogen, and I'm just gonna check it out and see what it was. And I was really surprised, and I enjoyed it a lot.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
But yeah, that Seth Rogen one was really good as well. Obviously, I think maybe like a third of the length of the Eddie Murphy one.
Yeah, it was like 18 minutes. I think the Eddie Murphy one's 40 minutes.
Yeah, but yeah, they were both really good. And like I said, I started watching the Ricky Gervais one is 2 parts, and I watched the first part, and I haven't watched the second part yet. But I'll probably finish that at some point this week, and maybe we can talk about some of the other ones that were on there later.
What else did you watch this week?
So I watched Spider-Man. My wife hates when I say that. I just like saying his name like it's a last name.
Don't. This is a big derailment here. Don't you think it's hilarious when you like call someone's nationality with the word "man" for the last name? Like, oh, he's an Englishman. Just what the fuck? Or a Frenchman?
Right.
Although the best one, which I think is Chinaman, is probably racist, so you can't say the best one.
Yeah, I know exactly. But
When you think about it, it's not a huge list of people you could use that for, you know?
No.
You can't say Germanman, but you can say Dutchman. Shout out to our listeners in
absolutely.
and the rest of the Netherlands.
Yep, that's
I
right.
often accidentally call the Netherlands Amsterdam. Not those fucking Finmen.
Right, exactly. Yeah, what do they call people in Finland besides assholes?
Oh, I was just say douchebags.
Finlanders? I don't know. Anyway.
Is it true that Dolph Lundgren has never once stepped foot on Swedish soil after he left?
I believe so, yeah. He never went back.
I'll assume as much too.
And I think he disowned the family that decided to stay.
As you should.
But yeah, I saw Spider-Man. We're not close to where we live, or whatever it's called. Far from the madding crowd.
Oh, not Into the Spider-Verse?
No, I still need to see that. That's on Netflix. But I watched I watched Spider-Man Far From Home. It was fine. I mean, the only reason honestly, it's like I said, it's masochism at this point, because the only reason I watch it is because I had to watch all of them to do reviews on them. And now that I don't really do the reviews anymore, I don't have to watch them, but I kind of feel obligated to because I've been watching, it's like the 24th film or whatever. It was fine. That's really all I have to say about it.
You know, I know people say the third time's a charm, but I really think we need one more trilogy of Spider-Man movies to really see where he came from.
Exactly. The third trilogy of Spider-Man films. But yeah, it was, it was okay. I think Tom Holland is really good as Spider-Man, and it's fine. It's a movie. All the exciting parts. If you care about Marvel movies at all,
He's like a person on drugs who's never seen a movie.
right?
It's fine. It's a movie.
Remember that one time? Statute of Limitations is done, I'm sure, but
Oh, boy.
I'll cover it anyway. Remember that one time that I was on all that?
The Nickelodeon show, all that.
Yeah. Remember when I was on that? No, remember that time that I was on that medication that was medically necessary for me to be on? The medication that Alex and I used to take together? And we went to see the Mod Squad movie.
Oh my god, that was the worst fucking movie.
And I was so gone that I had no clue what was going on in the film, which means I probably had a better time than you.
Yeah.
But I knew that there was this is how cliche this movie was. Even that gone, I knew that someone had betrayed them, or there was someone within the organization that was like a double agent or whatever. And I remember I leaned over to you and I said to you, I know who it is. I know what's going on. And I just started laughing in the theater because I had no fucking clue. Like, I was bluffing. I don't know why. I was bluffing that I knew what was going on in this movie.
You probably know I didn't care enough to ask.
But yeah, so anyway, I don't remember what we were talking about, but oh yeah, Spider-Man. So it was fine. The if you care about Marvel movies at all, the only thing that really matters are the 2 end credits scenes. So if you want to just sneak into the movie theater and watch the last 5 minutes of the movie, that's all you really need.
Why don't you just say what they are so you don't have to even go?
No, I will say, oh yeah, I guess I could just explain it to people. So this isn't actually the order they come in. The one that you're going to care about comes first.
What if I just watch all the end credits? Will I then kind of know the whole story of the Marvel universe?
Yes, I think you will.
I mean, maybe there's like a secret, like hidden movie, like in The Simpsons where they used to have the McBain character. Mm-hmm. Like apparently, all the little clips of McBain, if you put them together in chronological order, they actually make a movie.
Oh, that's brilliant, and exactly the type of thing I could see Matt Groening doing.
Yeah, not exactly the kind of thing I could see the people behind the Marvel movies doing, though.
No, I don't think so. But the second one is a reveal that what's her name, Maria Hill and Nick Fury are actually Skrulls in disguise from the movie Captain Marvel. Who cares? And
I don't think anyone saw that.
And we talked about it on the show, but I agree. I don't think you saw it. I think Chris and I saw it, and you just came along for the ride. But
That's exactly what happened.
But
I watched 5 minutes of it, and it was fucking terrible, so I stopped watching it. Believe me, I try these. I really do try watching these movies. They're just so bad, I can't watch them.
I know you do. The mid-credits scene was J.K. Simmons coming back as J. Jonah Jameson.
Nice.
Arguably the best part of the original Spider-Man series of movies with Toby.
Oh yeah, he's great as that character.
So he came back.
Toby Keith.
Yeah, he came back and reveals 9/11 Spider-Man. He came back and revealed Spider-Man's secret identity to everyone. So I guess he's got to deal with that in the next movie. Whatever.
If Toby Keith sang a song about 9/11 in a universe where Spider-Man existed, how do you think the lyrics would go?
Well, you're a man, but you've been made into a Spider-Man.
Do you think he'd be pro or anti-Spider-Man?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because it seems like the police are anti-Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think based on that, he probably would be anti-Spider-Man.
What if he blamed Spider-Man for 9/11?
Why didn't you hold up the towers when they were falling with your webs?
Why didn't your web string up to heaven?
Exactly. Oh, Toby Keith, Spider-Man song. Someone's got to do that. Did you see anything else this week?
No, I really didn't watch a lot of TV this week. I was really excited about the Comedians in Cars. Mm-hmm. So it was like 4 or 5 episodes, but then I saw some clip on YouTube that reminded me that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood comes out this week, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I do want to see that.
Yeah, it seems like fun message for my wife if you're listening. Do you want to maybe go on Friday? I know we talked about this, but we'd have to go with Matt as well because, he likes to come over and hang out on Fridays.
Ugh.
Or maybe on Sunday. Would you be... Yeah, I know, right? Would you possibly be interested on Sunday? Let me know.
Does she like Matt?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Everyone likes Matt.
Good. Yeah, I like Matt, too. I drove with Matt to Las Vegas in a car one time.
Yeah.
That was a fun trip. And we both, for some reason, took pictures of us going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, that was very odd.
We both, while the other one was sleeping, we both had the idea to, while we're
risk
driving...
the other person's life?
Yeah, while we're driving 100 miles an hour on the freeway, take out a camera and take a picture of the speedometer. Oh, so shout out to Matt. But I saw another show that I think I'm going to wait to talk about until next week because I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but it's called The Society. It's a TV series on Netflix that my wife and I are kind of into. So I think I'll just reserve to talk about that next week, unless we both see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then we can talk about that next week, and then I'll talk about The Society the week after that because it's not going anywhere.
That's fair.
But that is our show for the week. As always, tell a friend about the show. Tell them, hey, these guys are funny, or they suck and you'll laugh at them. whatever you feel about the show. But just tell a friend. Give us, some reviews on iTunes. Interact with us on social media. We're Massive Late Fee everywhere, and probably Massive Late Mike on Twitter for Mike.
That sounds right.
And I think Carol is still...
Yeah, just look at Carol's name and then replace Carol with Mike. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, exactly. I think hers is still late_Carol on Twitter if you want to get at her on Massive Late Fee, because we can never tell anyone to do that because that takes place in 1994. So.
If anyone happens to know Shaquille O'Neal, please tell him I would like a refund for the movie Kazam.
Yeah.
I've asked him on Twitter, but he just dodges the question.
And tell him we want him on the show, and he doesn't even have to eat spicy wings to answer questions from us.
He does have to apologize for Kazam, though.
Yeah, that's for sure. And actually, if we could get him and Sinbad on the show together, so that Sinbad can dispel the rumor that he was in a show or a movie called... What does everyone think it's called? It's not Kazam.
Kazam or Shazam?
I think it's Shazam, yeah.
I don't understand where that confusion comes from.
I do. It's the most racist thing in the world. It's the fact that they're both larger black men, and...
I don't see how anyone could ever confuse the two, though.
But here's the thing. Sinbad used to wear those huge, like, puffy pants that look...
Are you telling me he doesn't still wear those? He has enough money to buy a new wardrobe after
right.
his career?
But those look like genie pants, so I think that's where it came from. People knew that there was a big black dude that played a genie, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, he used to wear those puffy pants. It's probably him." I think that's where it came from.
Remember when he was in the movie Necessary Roughness with Scott Bakula, and he was like a professor, and he just suddenly was on the team? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't understand that at all. How are you a professor and a football player at the same time?
I actually like that movie too.
Well, it's a fun movie, but I mean, it's just, and that's where they took Rod Schneider's copy machine guy character and just put him in a movie playing the same character. Like, hey, do that fumble roost.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think the program was better.
Yeah, the program was probably a better film altogether. But I guess probably Necessary Roughness got less people killed from doing push-ups in the street.
Maybe.
Well, that is our show for the week. We will see you next week. Bye.
See you next time. MySpace.com.